Welcome back to Unemployed with Anna Roisman. Oh, baby, it is Sunday and it is raining, so I am unemployed by choice all day long. I love it. I'm here for it. And I'm so excited for our episode today. We have a very, very funny comedian. I love talking to this guy. He's a funny stand-up. You might know him from The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Heard of it? Maybe HBO, maybe Conan, maybe MTV. You have to check out his comedy album, Words. Streaming on all platforms. Go find it. We've got Rojo Perez with us. Hello, welcome.
Thank you. I need a hype person like you everywhere I go.
Oh, honey, I'll do it. You bring me on. I love introducing people. It's like a, I feel accomplished when I do. I'm like, yes, I brought them on right. And the crowd goes wild. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm enjoying this canceled day we're having.
I know, right?
I sprained my ankle Friday, so I was looking for a reason not to move.
Oh, no. Are you okay? Was this like a hospital visit or?
No, it's a plum, not an eggplant.
Okay.
So that's how I know how serious the ankle injuries are. So this one will be fine. Just a little more purple than it should be right now.
Got it. It's a plum, not an eggplant. Is that like an old wise doctor's tale or something that I don't know?
That is the one medical class I took. That's the only thing I remember.
The fruit and vegetable one. But are you in pain? Or are you okay?
I mean, it's sore, but it's fine. I mean, yeah. We're self-medicating. Got it.
We're
doing great.
It's weird, right? They said that it was going to be, like, this episode will come out after, but they said the hurricane, what is it, Henri? I sound ridiculous attempting to say it.
I can't, I'm so glad it's a category 1 with that name. You can be a cocky, a 5 with Henri.
So
nobody
true.
respects you.
No, it was like the skies were like, yeah, nice try. That's the name? We'll blow you away. We'll get rid of you. It's true. It's just a rainy day. But I feel like shit was canceled, right? There were shows canceled. There were events canceled.
Yeah. Everything I had tonight got canceled by like 10 a.m. today. It was great.
I went to Whole Foods last night, that was my Saturday night. I had to get a couple things, and I went early at like 6 p.m., and I was like, fuck, it is so crowded here. It was like the pandemic all over. I'm like, people are like, they're like getting pasta and this and that. They're like stocking up as if we're like going to be out for, I'm like, is it that bad? Did I not read the same news?
It's the PTSD. It's the conspiracy is like the hurricane is what gets us in the house, and then that's when they lock us back in.
Honestly?
So everybody feels like they just need to gather any chance.
And I got guacamole and chips. I was like, this will be good for tonight. Like, if it rains, I'm fine. I did that for Hurricane Sandy, too. Everyone, remember the bread was like out? I mean, that was a lot more serious in New York. Were you here for that?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, and I just remember I got like lime chips, like, and a bottle of vodka, and I was like, we're gonna be fine. They're making this up. This is fine. Cut to me not being able to live in my apartment for a week. I was like, I need food.
Just cracking the bottle of vodka.
Mm-hmm. So how have you been? How has your bizarro year been in terms of like work and stuff?
I've been good, I think. It's weird to say I didn't know it, but I needed a break from
it's not that weird.
The day of doing stand-up and just not realizing the bad space you're in because you're going through it day to day.
Yeah.
So like after a couple months, I was like, oh man, I feel my writing's much friendlier, and like I'm standing up a little straighter these days. Like it was. So once the new year started again and like shows started happening, it's been good. It's been fun. I think comedy this summer in New York's been amazing. People are just like horned up to be out.
Audiences have been very kind. No matter the size, they've been excited to be there, I feel like.
Yeah. They're just like, tickle me. Yeah. Like it's but it's been good. Work's been, kind of like everybody wish we had a little more of it, but just happy to have some success.
Were you touring a lot when the pandemic started, and then like was stuff canceled on you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 19 and then early 20, it was pretty much just touring what was like keeping me without a day job. And then the rest of the year, it was weird because I had stuff lined up, but it was like good stuff that you're excited. It wasn't like Tacoma or whatever nonsense. It was like fun festivals and stuff like that. So it was just like more of a bummer of being like, oh man, that was going to be a silly weekend.
Yeah.
Or like there was, so stuff got canceled, and then we just thankfully had some money away, and then some stuff was able to help out. Like just by chance, I had become a business a year prior.
Nice.
So I thankfully qualify as a business.
That's nice. Yeah.
So stuff like that was able to help out.
I love how you say it. You're like, I qualify. I'm a business.
I'm sorry. I'm a businessman.
That's me.
Yeah.
Let me show you. He's showing us his briefcase right now for those of you who aren't watching. It's a nice logo you have for your business.
No, but it's been good. I'm excited. Stuff's picking back up, but you're also like, I'm picking up weekends now with the same sort of fear. You're like, this might happen.
I know.
I don't know. Talk to me in a couple weeks.
I know. It's so true. Even like little booking things, like I had to book a hotel for a wedding, and I'm like, shit, what if it doesn't happen? Will I get my money back for this? Like,
there's nothing worse than having a credit to a place you're never going to visit again. You're like, I'm going to do nothing with this shit.
Connecticut? Yeah. I got to find a comedy place nearby and be like, listen, I have a room there. I need a show this weekend.
Try to convince a friend, even a lover, to go, babe, let's have a romantic getaway in Connecticut. He'd rather eat the money. We're like, no.
Nah, let's stay home. You know what? We'll order pizza. Oh man. I love how you also said you're like, anything to keep me away from a day job, which is like all of the comedians who come on this show, we talk about, we will perform and do anything to stay out of an office that is not at all adjacent to comedy or performing or hosting or acting. Like,
yeah, I can't.
Everything goes, I feel like.
And I know it happens, and we all kind of, I don't know if everybody, but I think there's points where you think you're making it full time, and then you end up having to go back and get a job. So it happens. But once you feel like you're removed enough from it, you're like, I'm going to give up then. If I got to go back to a regular grind of a 9 to 5, then going out to do shows, I don't think I got it in me again.
Yeah, I physically don't think I have it in me. Like, I don't remember how I did that, where you don't go home.
I don't remember having meals. When I try to think about it now, you're like, when did you have any food?
Right. At my day job, I'd be like, I used to suggest meals. I'd be like, we should do like bagel Friday, croissant Mondays. Like, I'd make sure there was a lot of food. I'd like wrap it all up. I'd be like, all right, I'm good.
Just make sure you got stuff that holds over the weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
No fish, just all grains and wheat.
Yeah, I don't care. Whatever keeps me alive. So I want to take it back. I love to talk to all my guests about, what was like the first job you ever had?
My first job was, this sounds made up, but my dad had a wood rental business.
Okay.
And
where was this?
In Puerto Rico.
Okay.
After one of the hurricanes in the late 90s, that people started getting enough money to make the houses in cement. But you don't want to buy all the wood and never use it again. So to make the frame. So my dad had a business that would rent you the wood to frame it. And then when people lay the cement, they'd take the wood down and we'd come collect it, clean it, re-rent it.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. One of the few ones that worked out.
I know very little about building houses, and I'm like, wow, that makes sense, but I'm like, I didn't know.
Yeah, one of the few business ideas that worked out for him. But this one, I remember starting to work there on like holidays and weekends as young as probably like 12.
Oh, wow. Little 12-year-old baby Rojo carrying wood over.
And I was trying to carry a 2x4s. But I was also, and I still think I have a lot of this, I was the most delicate kid. I hated being dirty. So,
me too.
I hate it. So I would put on like these huge construction worker gloves. But these are like up to here on me, and I'm trying to carry 2x4s. And my dad's like other two employees are like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? But his dad trying to toughen him up. And I was like, I'll pick the shit up, but I can't have dusty fingers.
He's like, this wood is dirty. You know, I showered today. I'm not about it. Wait, that's really funny. Were you like, did you shower a lot? Were you always like, I can't, you know, I'm a clean, I don't want
I wasn't a big shower, but I wasn't an anti-shower kid.
Okay.
I didn't have to be told to go take a shower.
Right.
But I can't, like, I hate walking barefoot. Like, that shit grosses me out. I hate, like, having, I've always been weird about, like, just having dirty nails or, like, shit like that.
Mm-hmm. I felt it, apparently when I was a baby, my mom said if we ever went to the beach, I didn't like to be dirty either, and I thought the sand was dirty. So my mom's
That's why I don't like the beach that much.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's impossible to get sand out. Impossible.
Yeah, sand, you'll find it a week later. But my mom was like, yeah, it was great. I could just like leave you on a towel and like take a walk. And I'm like, so you would leave your 1-year-old baby, like kid on a towel? She's like, you wouldn't touch the sand. So you just sit there. Good parenting.
I'll picture a fat little 1-year-old just sunbathing, just trying to struggle to get back up.
I'm just like, no, don't let me touch it. I don't want it. So this was the family biz. You worked for your dad. Were you getting paid or were you just being
No, I was
son?
getting paid.
Good.
But I mean, I think we were getting, I think it started at $5 a day.
Okay. Wow.
But
Which
my
is
overhead,
honestly,
real
like,
low. My overhead as a 12-year-old, real low.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say $5 a day when you're 12. That sounds nice. Like that would have been.
Yeah.
I still think back from getting $10 and thinking like, wow, where do I start? You know, what do I buy with this?
I paid for my own pager.
A pager.
I paid for my own pager, and I'd pay the monthly bill on it. And
Who was paging you when you were a little baby?
No one.
You just wanted to look cool? This is they're like, oh no, is he selling drugs? He's a pager. Is he selling drugs? And he's like, no, I don't even want to touch wood. I just want to look good. Pager. You're like a little business dad with your pager on your like belt.
Oh, I loved it. Everybody and people said, because the only people who would text you were just like classmates you'd see every day, and nobody's doing anything.
I forgot. You read on. There's a message on a pager, right?
I remember. Yeah, it wasn't just the numbers. You would have to call this, not like a 1-800 or whatever it was, and then each pager had a 6-digit code. But somebody would be on the other line taking the message. So you'd be like, oh, babe, I can't wait to see you. I missed you so much. Today was such a magical day. And then somebody just typing this out.
Right. It's like Snapchat
send.
Today, you know? Someone takes a nude and it goes to Snapchat probably, and they're like, okay, send it on. Nice. Was that did you have people like flirt with you on like, you know, your pager? Was that like
yeah, that was the whole
thing?
point of it. But I mean, it wasn't like I was getting crazy sex messages at 12, 13-year-olds. But
you
I
learned
paid
the
for it
value of
just
$1.
working.
Yeah.
I did.
That's good. That's good. So how long did you get to work in the wood biz for?
Oh, I don't know, till about a year ago.
No. He's like, the pandemic took him down.
Probably through junior year high school.
Oh, nice. I literally thought you were gonna be like, that Williamsburg apartment you're living in? Yeah, I built the fucking frame for it.
We import our wood from Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. My dad ends up selling that.
Okay.
I go to college.
Did you go to college
in Florida? I go to college in Florida. Then I come back. I have like a boring job at the college. I was like an intramural ref.
A what ref?
Intramural.
Oh, what sport?
I did a multitude. I was just trying to fill hours. I was doing.
You were just like the ref. Like they're like we have any game.
I would do. I would do soccer, volleyball, basketball, softball.
You have to like know those games to ref them, right? Like
you gotta know more than the people playing them.
Wow.
I don't gotta know all the rules. I just gotta know more than the team that's on the field looks like they know.
If anyone asked me to be the ref in like football, I'd be like, I wouldn't even know where to begin. So that I think you were like, it's boring. I'm like, that's impressive that you knew enough about those sports to show up and like ref them.
I loved it. We got in heated arguments. People yell at you. It was built pressure. It was heckling before I knew I needed it.
So in college, you weren't doing comedy yet. This was.
No, I started probably my senior year of college.
Okay.
The last semester.
Did you know you wanted to do it? Like when you were younger, did you have the bug?
I didn't know that was something you could do. It didn't even process in my... Like, I enjoyed watching it, but I didn't think anybody could do it. I thought like that. I thought there was genuine... I honestly am not sure what I thought, but I thought there was just like, oh, you're chosen.
To do this.
The way... This, yes. The world lined up for you that you were chosen to be Chris Rock. And that, like, that's how life worked. And they were like, I don't know, maybe he went to an audition. And that, they're like, you're it. But I didn't think anybody could just do it. Mm-hmm. So no, I never really I never thought about it till my friend invited me to an open mic. Like, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know. I didn't grow up being like, oh, you two can be famous. Or like, you two can be on the TV that we love so much. Mm-hmm. Like, that wasn't. It was. Did you ever
act or do any theater or any, like, performance stuff as a kid?
In college, I took some acting classes. Mm-hmm. I remember they tried to get me to act in, like, a church play. I was supposed to be one of the... I haven't told this story in years. I was supposed to be one of the other people crucified with Jesus.
Okay. That's some dramatic acting. That's a lot.
To come in hot. And you're like dragging the whole thing, is dragging it around because they had to do all the stage, everything. And then finally, you're like on it, and they're like at the 6th word, that's when you die. Because it was very. Whoa. I didn't know I forgot whose 6th word.
Okay. Me too.
Jesus is way into his monologue. I'm still wide awake. I'm looking at the people. I missed it completely.
That's amazing.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
Wow.
Just hanging out.
Just enjoying the scenery. being like, this Jesus dude is crushing it right now.
I wish I was in the audience to watch that, where you're just like, you're living this out, even though they're like,
and people trying to give me the sign to like, people trying to like,
yo, you gotta die now.
He's stretching. I had Jesus stretching.
The whole play is just Jesus trying to die because Rojo was like, man, this is good. This is good acting right now. This is it. Maybe that actually inspired you, to become a performer. Maybe you were just
maybe I thought I could, yeah.
It's not just Chris Rock. It's this kid playing Jesus.
If they give me another shot, I swear I'll die at the right cue. Just put me back in there, coach.
Oh, I love that. I wish you got another show, where they were like, this is when you die, and you get to correct it, and then, people come back and they're like, he got it this time. He did it. That's funny. All right, so you dabbled. I'd say you dabbled then, right?
Yeah, I lightly put my toe in. No, and then I took some classes in college, but never really like went out for like a play or anything.
Mm-hmm. It's so funny because I feel like I've talked to a lot of comedians on this podcast, and everybody, me included, like, we didn't know that was a career, like you were saying. I didn't know you could be a comedian, like, and say that and make money and live. And then, there are kids growing up today. I see them on like apps and TikTok and everything who are like, yeah, I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm going to be a stand-up comedian. They're like 9.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
There's a different, this generation flip, because we were like, oh my God, that's impressive. Where this generation is like, oh man, if this person can do it, I can fucking do this.
Right. I already do this. Yeah,
I got more followers. Yeah. I could definitely figure this out.
Yeah. And we didn't have as many like talent shows. You know what I mean? Like we had like, I don't know, American Idol and Star Search, and like there weren't like a billion shows, I think, where kids could like audition and like get on stuff and like have a career at 9 years old.
Yeah.
I'm jealous is what I'm trying to say.
I think so. I mean, I'm going to see. I think there's going to be a real pill epidemic when this generation turns 19, 20, 21. I just don't think you can start working at 9 and be a functional person in society as an adult. Like, as you, like...
Right.
I think people who start doing stand-up at, like, 14, 15 and never take a break is, like, weird to me.
Yeah.
Like, when do you live? When did you figure out shit to do, to be?
When did you eat dinner? Yeah.
When did you eat? Yes.
Yeah. I know there's so many nights I feel like friends who don't do comedy, and they go out to dinners and stuff. I feel like I do it more, I balance my life more. I don't need to do every show ever, but there were many years where people are like, when do you have dinner? And I'm like, you grab a slice of pizza on your way home. Like, that's, I don't know.
Can you sit down to eat a meal? Like,
no, I don't often.
The anxiety. I hate sitting to a meal. It feels so time consuming. You're like, just get the food. Where's the food? Why is the food not here already? Can we just eat it so we can go do something else?
You're funny. I feel like now I can sit. I feel like I sit too much now because, I ate the whole year on my couch. I ate at my coffee table. There came a point where I was like, we really should get a real table. There should be a table. I don't have a real table. I sit at the coffee table because we never ate at home. We never ate a meal before,
How big is are you in a 1-bedroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which
got small.
The living room is the escape.
Yes.
So you put a table in there, that's cumbersome.
Yeah. I don't think I'll ever put a table in here. It's fine. We make it work.
You got another one outside?
I do, yes.
That's
in the rain.
For the brunch?
Yeah, That's my brunch table. I actually invited a friend over last night, and I was like, come, we can all sit at the table outside. It's very small. And then it poured beyond, and I was like, oh, we got to sit on the floor and eat at my coffee table. Sorry. I'm sorry, you could have stayed home, but whatever. Okay, so you go to college. You were working as a ref.
Yeah.
Just the local intramural ref all over campus.
Yeah.
And then where did you move after school in Florida?
I come to New York.
Okay, right after college.
Yep. Graduated December, April. I'm in New York, something like that.
Cool.
My first job in New York, I started as like a freelance video editor, which whatever.
Nice.
That didn't go too long.
Did you pick New York because you were like, I want to do comedy in New York?
Yeah. I went to school for like news media, journalism, video editing. So like part of me was like, oh, there's probably an easier way to get a job up there, but I already knew. I was like, if I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna keep doing. Let's go now to New York. Don't like just stay in Florida and not. You have no responsibilities. If you're gonna try it, go try it.
I was the same. I moved the day after my graduation from Boston to New York. Yeah, like the day, because I had a restaurant job and they were like, "We need you this week," and I was like, "Okay."
Man, that's how you're welcome to real life. I don't know if I get done today.
What were you editing when you moved here? What were you video editing?
I did a couple like commercials for like local channel that would air on like channel 11 or whatever. Okay. It was like speakers and rims. Come get them here at this street.
Nice.
Used car sale, used car lot. I did something that was shown at a very prestigious book ceremony in DC that I know nothing about.
Okay.
And then that was kind of it. It was only a few months I was working with them, and then they realized all I knew how to do was edit. And they're like, you can't help out in any other way. And I was like, no. This is all I got.
What else do they want you to do?
I think they wanted me to play with Photoshop and do like color correction and start doing shit like that. And I was like, They wanted you to do all the art. Yeah. They didn't know I was passionate about one thing. They were trying to get me to be pop, and that's not what I am. I'm very niche.
He knows himself.
So from there, I started working as a valet parker.
Okay.
By then, I was just like, I don't want a real job. I want just a job to pay rent. Like, I don't want anything that I'm forced to miss comedy for. So
and were you doing mics and stuff? Like, were you?
Yeah. I was like, I'm like,
or shows,
trying to, show here and there, but really just like mics and just going into like having that thing of being like, oh, you're out till 1, 2 a.m. every night. This 7 a.m. shit ain't gonna work. So I was just trying to find whatever jobs, and I got hired as a valet parker at this like convention center until I busted out the back window of a minivan.
Oh, jeez. Huh.
Parking it? You hit it?
Sure, we met. I didn't really hit it. It wasn't a hard. I still don't know how it really cracked. The visual, I guess, is like this was there was a downstairs where you could park cars under the building, and then there was these huge AC units that did for the whole building, and then those units have this arm that comes out. So like this would be the arm, but those have a padding. And then this has a padding, but right here, just a corner of metal. And I mean, I tapped it
barely.
And that bitch went, and it was like, it was like an explosion. It was terrifying.
Cracked before. It doesn't sound, and also whoever.
I mean, I think that probably
really should have covered that corner.
It might be, thank you. If we ever went to court, that's where I was going. Why was that corner left open?
Yeah, the sharpest part. You could bump into the whole other part. It would have been fine.
Nothing.
The corner. Oh, man.
It could have been the heat. Anything could have happened.
Yeah.
So I'm freaking out. My manager comes down. He kind of asks what happened. I'm like, dude, I swear to God, look at it. I don't. He goes, fine. He talks to the dude, the car owner. They have a place they would take it, get it fixed in a day.
Okay.
He's like, fine. He goes, go home. Come back tomorrow, and we will all talk. Figure this out. And then I just never went back.
Why?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Why you weirdos? Because it was clearly a lynching. They were gonna fucking give me the boot. They were gonna give me
Wouldn't
the
he
boot.
have fired you then? He was like, you fucked this car up. I have to let you go.
No, they were gonna probably try. They were probably trying to get all the managers together and see if I could probably try to make me pay for the loan. You ain't gonna get me.
I was gonna say they wanted to see like, how much is this gonna cost, and like, can we just take it out of his pay?
Don't they have like insurance or something? Come on.
They would. So this is why partially I also never went back, because they do have insurance, but they would never file anything under their insurance because they didn't want the rate to go up. So they would make
shady.
If somebody had an accident, any driver had any sort of accident, whatever that cost would come out of everyone's check.
Oh, that's really fucked
awful.
up.
Yeah, so people would so then workers turn on each other.
Oh, no.
Because now you're like, this motherfucker keep ruining my money.
That's fucked up. And also, I imagine there are tons of accidents from valets. Like,
there's a lot. Yeah.
This wasn't the only one.
No, this was the biggest one during my time, but not the only one.
Yeah. That's so messed up. How long were you working there? Was this were you bummed about this?
I'd say maybe 8 months.
That's long.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Enough that I made friends. Like we'd all get Thursday lunches. I was likable.
They were like, "Where'd you go?" And you're like, "I hit a car. I hit a window."
Had to go.
Oh man.
Yeah, that turns into a week of being an exterminator.
A week.
Yeah, height of bed bug season in New York. I mean, when bed bugs were going crazy in New York.
The fact that you even let yourself open yourself up to exterminate. After you're telling me you had to wear a giant glove to carry wood, and you're ready to exterminate disgusting New York City apartments.
I mean, yeah.
No way.
It was good money.
At the height of bedbug season,
I mean, this was when people were just throwing out mattresses left and right.
Oh, jeez.
I remember when it was bad. I forget what year it was, but I remember it was like, be careful if you go to a movie theater. Like, people are just carrying this shit around with them. Like,
they were like in the Urban Outfitters, like
in like dressing rooms and shit.
Yeah,
and like,
I remember those stories.
Seats, and you're like, it's taking over New York. I remember a lot of friends got them too. It was fucked up.
Yeah, I think I did maybe 10 days.
Where did you find that job? Curious.
It's not as hard. You'd be surprised. They tend to be pretty easy to get. I think what happened was one of the dudes I met at the valet spot, he would also do that on the side. So I think when I got a job, he reached out and helped me. He was like, hey, I can put you in touch.
Networking.
Did about a week of training. And then my first week alone, I was like, I can't. It was, any apartment I sprayed still had all the bugs. I was not getting close to anything. I was so paranoid that it was on me. And then every day when you get home, you think you're itchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you're staring at bugs all day, I see one bug and I'm convinced, I'm itchy up for forever. That's scary.
Yeah.
Did you wear like a hazmat suit to like do it?
To wash your clothes like before going home or something?
No, you're just supposed to put your clothes in. We didn't even have uniforms. You're supposed to put your clothes in a trash bag when you get home, tie it up, and then take that into like the laundry or keep it there till you're gonna wash it.
Right. That's scary. Did you see some gross apartments? Did you see some?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I remember we were doing some project, like some shit uptown where it was like a 20-story building and the whole fucking building has it. And you're just like, go, because it just keeps spreading. And you're just trying to go into people's like apartment. You're like, I don't even know how I can't move anything. Like, there's no space to me to relocate anything to try to spray anything down. And then like, you're like, I'm gonna hit some in the corners. I'm gonna throw whatever little bombs I'm allowed to. And I was like, pray for the best.
I'm out of here. I had to bomb my apartment when my dog got fleas. We didn't have bed bugs, but he got fleas, and that was awful. It happened twice, actually. It was. Now I give him all the meds so he can't get them, but it was like I didn't know when I first got him. You know, I was like, but I remember the bomb.
Where were you taking your dog that was picking up so much fleas?
I think he got him. I went to like the Jersey Shore with my family, and I think he got him like there, and I don't know. Not in New York, but we brought him back.
Oh, great. Even better. Yeah.
We brought him to New York, you know? No, but I remember the bomb thing, which I imagine is similar. And, like, I remember I had to be out. You have to, like, leave the apartment for a couple, and I had to take him with me. And I, like, sat outside at a restaurant. It, like, started to rain. They're like, do you want to go? I'm like, I can't go inside. I had a dog in a bag. I'm like, I can't. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do right now. But I can't go back, so...
Oh man!
Oh, all right. So you were exterminator. That's impressive that you lasted 10 days. I gotta say that's
enough to get that first paycheck.
There you go.
It's long enough to really put me $200 over the black.
So what came next? I love knowing what job it was that was like your last day job. You know what I mean? I like getting to the point where you were like, I'm doing comedy full time.
I worked at a bakery for a little bit, making sandwiches, and then I ended up just getting a restaurant job.
Hell yeah.
Forever. But, like, I started as, like, a server. Then I was like, I hate people. So I was like, I'm going to do daytime shifts only. And I was like, I still got to see people. Can I just dishwash and deliver food and like? So I started just doing that, and I would like.
Yourself to the back of house.
I went back a house. I was like, I don't want to see anyone. I hate having to interact with people.
Were you at the same restaurant for a while?
Yeah. And then
what kind of restaurant?
It was a Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
And they Then I bartended for a little bit, and I'd fill in bartend.
Don't you think bartending... Because I worked in restaurants for like 7 years. Don't you think bartending was better than serving because you have the bar between you?
Oh, there's nothing better. And I remember like when I was in college in Florida, I'd bartend a little at a restaurant place I worked at. Yeah, because you can't... It's a different... power dynamic. Yeah,
they respect you more behind the bar.
As a server, I'm more of just like, oh my God, do you need it? As a bartender, what you want, I have. I very easily could be like, nah, we good. You can't have what I want, what I have here. And you gotta take it.
You can be like, 1 second to some, they're not like, whereas a table's like, hello. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I'd say bartending in a restaurant is better than at a bar. I liked it more than bartending at like just a bar because there's the power of a bartender in a restaurant is higher than everyone else. In a bar only, you're like, you
have to put up with a few more drunks, you're saying, than you would at a restaurant.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I love that you were like, I just don't like people anymore. I'd rather work in the kitchen anywhere else.
I loved having the back of the house shit because all day you're just like, I'm just listening to sets, thinking of jokes, and I'm like, I'll wash this pot. Yeah, I'll go fuck. And then you're like, oh, delivery. Yeah, I'll get in the car and drive, and they'll give me tips that way. And you're just like, it wasn't like I was making a killing as a daytime server anyway. So you're like,
Right.
this is dumb.
Yeah. I know that I worked mostly nights, and then when I was doing too much comedy, I was like, this sucks. I have to take off like a Friday night, which is when I make like most of my money for the week, and like just to do 10 minutes somewhere, like I can't. So yeah, the daytime thing was key. Finding something you don't hate in the day.
Yeah, or something just going through the motions. Like, I think if I could have sat down, I bet I could have done factory work all these years.
No.
Just like breaking off spoons, and like Roseanne and Jackie. I could have worked on the line if you just let me listen to comedy and like take a sit down while I did it.
I love that you were listening to comedy the whole time. Like you were doing work, you were studying while you were doing.
Yeah, I would. Like, that's why it was. It was just like I don't. Because also then you're like, all right, this is the lowest level of job I want to take. Mm-hmm. All right, so we got to go up now. But how we go up got to be comedy. It can't be. I don't want to be the manager of this place.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to.
So then you're just like, the job doesn't make me want to kill myself, but also I hate doing this job enough that I need to get good at comedy. Mm-hmm. And I need this to speed up a bit.
Very smart. That's the key. Get a job you don't, you got to like it enough to just do it.
To show up. Yeah.
But it's got to be bad enough where you are just focused on what you really want to do. Yeah, getting out. Yeah, like when I was an assistant, it was great. I worked in the day and it was great. And then I was like, I figured out, I can write while I'm here. And I would just write all day long and have Google Docs and have a pilot and I'd have jokes and I have this. I was like, wow, I'm productive now that I like know what I want to get out of this, like how I want to get out.
And especially when it still gives you some sort of structure. Mm-hmm. Because it's not like you can just be home on the TV or like just fucking doing absolutely nothing. You're still out somewhere, so you still have to look like you're somewhat aware of what's happening.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's funny now that you say that, I'm like, did I write more when I had a day job? And I was like sitting at a computer all day and it's like, this is my escape. Whereas, being home, you're like, I have to force myself to sit down and like get shit done.
I think, I struggle through like now sitting down to write, like at least stand up wise. Where before it was just a habit of just like, all right, I get off work at this time and I can't go home because I don't have time. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to find this spot where I go for an hour and I'm just forced to write or talk about whatever I thought about during the day, and then you're like, okay, and then I got an 8 o'clock, and then I'm gonna go watch something at 10, and then at 11:30, and it was such a like, this is just what you do.
Yeah.
Where now you're just like, I really gotta force myself to shut everything else off, and you're like, God damn it, words, they're so hard.
I know, because it's become work. That's the thing. It wasn't your work then. It's like I was a TV major, which sounds like bullshit in college, but I was a TV production major. And I remember whenever they like assigned a series that you had to watch, I was like, I don't want to watch this series. And I think back, I'm like, you were watching TV anyway. Just turn that show on. You just have to watch this show. But I was like, no, it's homework. It's work now. I don't want to do it.
Yep.
Oh, man. All right. So you worked in this restaurant. You were doing stand-up all night long. And was that the last job you had before you were like, I'm at a place where I can like become a comedian? Full time comedy?
Yeah, that was the last place. But I was there for years, for a good amount of time. And then I remember leaving for a bit, and then having to come back and fucking swallow. You're probably like, yeah, I'll pick up Wednesday and Mondays again, and like starting to do that. You're like, oh God.
Yeah, but it's nice you had that. Like, you probably had, friends there and stuff who were like, listen,
of course, the panic was a bit different.
Yeah.
But also, you're scared of having a place.
Yeah.
I don't want to have this isn't the place I want. Like,
I
yeah,
know.
like, that's the fear of also being like, because that had nothing to do with the people. The people were great. They were fun to work with. You're
Right.
just like, this can't be.
No, when you have another goal, it's scary. I mean, it's funny because I worked in this restaurant, and I loved the people there. And whenever in college, I worked in a restaurant, and I loved everyone I worked with was awesome. They were so nice to me. I was in college, so I was like the youngest, who worked at this restaurant. And I remember after I graduated, I moved to New York. And whenever I go back to Boston, there are still, even now, and I'm 74, there are still people who work at this restaurant because they were like career, waiters and they got a good gig, they make good money. They support themselves. They like work in Boston for the year and then they go to like, Cape Cod or Martha's Vineyard for the summer. They have like a whole, schedule. And I always go and visit and I'm always like, I remember then I was like, oh my God, like everyone's nice and they're all comfortable here, but like I can't come back. Like I have to go. I have to get out because it is comfortable. It is a good group of people and like, oh.
And you fought, man. Also, like, I remember a dude who bartended in the town I went to college in, who like one of the years after I graduated, I went back and they were like, oh yeah, he's downtown working at this bar. Man, he just bought a house. And I was like, oh, that's dope. But that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, you paying for a house as a bartender, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
But this is your life. Like, you can't ask this person now that after 15 years to not do 9 to 4 a.m.
Right.
and wake up at noon every day or like what that like. That's just who this person is for life now. And
right.
They're comfortable with that.
But look at them. They could buy a house. I don't know when I'll ever buy a house. If I'll ever buy a house,
All three of us right now can make a pact in 10 years. We're going to buy a house together. And that's still very 50-50.
Right? I mean, I was talking to my sister earlier, and she has a house. She's 5 years younger. Let's just start there. But she lives in Colorado, and her house, her mortgage is less than what I used to pay, like, with a roommate. You know what I mean? Like, in New York City. Like, it's like... I'm like, her house, I'm like, wow, you couldn't buy a 1-bedroom apartment in New York for what your 4-bedroom house costs in Colorado. But
yeah, it's so painful to think about.
We choose it. We're jealous, but we chose this life.
What worries me, I don't know what the hell I'd put in a house. And you're like, I don't got enough shit to fill a house.
I know. I keep saying if I move apartments, I'm like, well, if I move, I always say, well, when I move, I'm getting a new couch. I want new sheets. I want new everything. And I'm like thinking like, it's so expensive to move. Like the last thing I'm going to be able to do is just like
budget for furniture. Too.
I know. It'd be like, I want new pillows, because it's a new place. Like, will I have any money? Probably not.
Nah.
Definitely not. Oh, man. Well, I think it's cool that you went back to the restaurant and you were humble. You knew I'm not supposed to be here. I'm gonna, this is just for now. This is just for now. Because we all have to take jobs. Like, I mean, even now, I'll do jobs that I'm like, the money's good. I shouldn't be doing this job. I know I shouldn't be doing this job, but
it's just money.
It's just money, and you have to think about that sometimes, especially as a performer. Anything in the arts, it's like. Because our money helps us fuel our next gigs. Like, it helps us get to, it sucks. And one day, we will be Chris Rock rich. And, he doesn't have to take every job.
What if Chris Rock's still picking up fucking weekends at Governor's? Because he's mismanaged his money for all these years.
Honestly, it's a good show. I feel like there are shows like that, but I'm like, that's a good pilot. I'd watch that, The billionaire who just blew it all and is like...
Blew it, it's still in it.
I'm back to pick up a bartending shift. And they're like, you're famous. Cool. Well, then you started doing tours, right? You started, like... There's good money in touring comedy.
I mean, it's... I was lucky enough that... a couple comics started bringing me on the road pretty early on.
Very cool.
So I started meeting the managers and clubs pretty early. So by the time I got a few credits under my belt, it was a little easier to to stay on the road and get back into those clubs. And then the last couple years, for the most part, me and Tone Bell travel together. And it's just lucky enough it works out that we're both able to do that and make enough money and still like travel with someone you actually like.
That's awesome. Like, that sounds like the dream.
Yeah, so right now we're having fun. We'll see what happens. Eventually we'll have to split up, but right now it's pretty fun.
That's awesome. And I gotta say it because I watched it happen, you know, on my Instagram, but you know, we're all going through a pandemic and everyone's like picking up whatever they can. And then I see Rojo's on the fucking Tonight Show. I was like, he's having the best pandemic right now. Cause it looked so fun. We have a lot of friends in common and it was on like everyone's Instagrams and I saw at your party and, you know, I wish I was out to celebrate because your set killed. It was so much fun. But
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
That must have been like, that must have felt extra special. I feel like given what we've all like kind of, you know, lived through in New York in the last year and a half, like.
Yeah, it was, it was real nice. It was a full crowd. I think maybe Joyelle had a full crowd when she did it, or maybe half a crowd.
Okay. Yeah, I remember when she had hers.
So, no, it was real fun. It was great. It was kind of a blur. And it all kind of like, I got to enjoy this more than I enjoyed any other like taping experiences. This one felt, much more relaxed. And I'll say this, I've said before, man, Seth Herzog did one of the most amazing things for me in life. If you don't know who he is, he's a New York fucking comic forever. But he does warm-up for The Tonight Show.
Yeah.
And he does warm-up. He was like, man, he sent me a text, hey, I can't wait to see you. And then he comes back to the green room, to where my room is, and he chops it up with me for maybe 30 minutes. Just sits down and we're just talking about nothing, about his kid, about life, about just the way we normally would catch up. And right before they go to commercial break to bring me out, he looked at the TV and he goes, hey man, I think you got like 10 minutes, so I'm going to get out of here so you can get your head right. And it was such a like dope friend, but such a pro move to be like, he kept me level, kept me calm. And then he was like, hey, it's time to work.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk out, get your shit together. See you out there.
That's so great. I love that. I think Seth's awesome. And he always, we did a show together right kind of close to the pandemic, but he's one of those people in New York. I feel like he brings together like amazing, you know, talents and stuff. And he supports a lot of people and he has this really cool gig at Fallon. And he's just like, that's great to hear. I love that. Yeah,
he was so great. That to me was like the experience of it. Like everything else just kind of happens in a blur and you just do it and you're like, it's finished and you're like, all right, I didn't curse. That's fine. That's great. I didn't go over time. That's great. That's all you're trying to like really process. I
didn't curse.
Man, that's a terrifying where you're like, you have fun, but don't have too much fun.
Right. Because if they laugh, you know.
You're just in the moment. And sometimes you're like, oh, keep it tight, kid. Keep it real tight.
That's funny. We'll have to have Seth on the podcast. And I'm sure his story will be like, Rojo was walking around that dressing room just like, fuck. I gotta get this right. I gotta be right. And I had to just calm him down.
I was like, have a macadamia nut. You look stressed. You're like, ah.
He's like, I gotta massage this kid. He's really, you know, losing it. It's like, come on, dude. You've done this before. Well, that's cool. It was an amazing set. Guys listening, go watch it. And now, you know, I love seeing you out at shows. I hope I get to see you more often. You're killing it. I feel like you've done a lot. And
it seems like you're doing okay, too.
Thanks.
Seems like you're doing pretty well in life.
Am I doing well? You know, sure.
You got an extra bed. You got an extra room. Yeah, you're doing fine.
I share it. We share it. I have a boyfriend here. He's locked in that room right now because he knows do not turn on a sink, do not shower, do not make any noise while I record the podcast.
Not when Mama's working.
That dog can't eat until we're done. There's strict rules here. Very strict. Well, thanks for making the time and being here. You're so fun to talk to.
I appreciate the invite. This was super fun.
Is there anything you want to plug? Where can people find you?
Yes.
See your stuff?
Please. Rojo Perez on all the socials. There's a few Z's in there. It'll pop up. RojoPerez.com. And if you're in Austin, I'm going to be there next month at the Creek and the Cave, the September 18th and 19th. 4 shows. Be dope to see y'all. Mike Stanley's going to be with me. It'll be real fun. Bye.
Amazing. All right. That's it. Thanks for being here. Oh my God, that was such a fun episode. I love Rojo. He's got such a good energy, He's fun to watch on stage. He's fun to talk to.
Yeah, for sure. Loved it.
He didn't want to get dirty, but he became an exterminator. That was...
I know, right? Well, he's down to face his fears, if anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, yeah. I mean, there are some jobs I did that I was like, you just need to do this job. You need to get money. But...
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think I could ever be an exterminator.
Oh, me neither. Especially for bed bugs.
I had a bug on me last night.
What kind of bug?
Like a worm. Like a crawling long thing. Ellen, I freaked out. Guys, listeners, I don't like bugs. Just surprise. And I didn't want to fling it off of me because I was in my bed. I wasn't in my bed. I was on my bed. And Jared was in the kitchen, which is 10 feet away. And I was like, there's a bug on me, get it off. And I slapped my arm to kill it. But I was I didn't, I was very conscious of don't go like this. Don't wipe it off or it's going to go on your bed or it's going to go on the floor and then you're not going to be able to find it. So I said, come and get it. And Jared doesn't care. He comes and picks it up with his 2 bare fingers,
Mm-hmm.
and He's like, what?
A hero.
What kind is it,
Yeah.
And I said, oh my God, what if it came from the bed? I'm sitting on the bed. What if it came from the bed? What if we have bed bugs?
Your bed's full of worms.
Who knows? But I did cook. I did clean celery root.
Oh yeah, it's probably from some vegetables.
I hope so. And it crawled onto my,
Maybe.
top and then it got onto my arm.
Yeah, I'm the same though. I always scream and run away if I see a bug and I make my boyfriend take care of it.
That's what they're there for, okay? Everybody get a partner. That's number 1 on your list for, a future partner. Must handle bugs. I really, I didn't know how important that was, but it's very important.
There has to be one person in the relationship that is down to take care of a bug.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's super important. I hope someone puts that on their dating profile. That's some real shit. Yeah, you want someone who can make you laugh? No, you want someone who's going to fucking take that spider off the wall and do something about it.
That's real. Yeah.
True love. Anyway, we just had this episode where Ellen and we got a lot of listener submitted dirt, I should say. Listener submitted dirt. We got stories, we got, resumes, we got all this fun stuff. There was another resume that we didn't go through, so I was really excited to go through their resume. If you guys know, Ellen and we have judged each other's resumes, and if you want us to go over your resume as the unemployed experts, I have learned a lot about resumes, and I feel like you're very detail. You're good at details, Ellen. I think that's
Yeah, I try to be. Yes.
As a producer, you kind of have to be, right? There's a lot of holes to fill.
You'd probably be a bad producer if you weren't paying attention to the details.
Correct, right? There's a lot of, things come from all different angles when you have to figure it out. So we have a resume to go over. Thank you so much to Sabrina. We're not saying Sabrina's last name, but you know what? She's so sweet to send us this that we're saying her first name. I love you and I appreciate you sending in to the show. So Sabrina, I got to say, we're looking at her resume right now. I just say one thing that popped up, and we're not here to talk shit on anybody's resumes. We're here to literally explore, give tips, say some things red flags we see. I got to say one thing, Sabrina, you sent me a Google Doc.
Yeah.
Which felt scary because I opened it and I thought it was going to be like a PDF and I was like, oh my God, what if I can delete stuff?
It's really personal almost to have somebody's live document.
Right? And like
living
they'll
and
see
breathing.
that I've opened it,
Yeah.
and I could even request edit access. Thank God it's, I can't edit it, but I was like, oh, this felt scary. I feel like I'm opening a diary of someone. It's like, it felt a little close. So I would
say
suggest
stick to a PDF.
PDF. Yeah. That's my first suggestion. I would definitely, next time you share it with another podcast who wants to rip apart your resume, totally give them a PDF only.
Yeah.
But it's funny whenever I see, so we're going to go through this a little bit. How do you like the format of it, first of all?
I think it's pretty good, actually. I like that I can see like some top skills on the side as well as some awards. I think that's like nice to have all of that sort of up front. I think
if you guys want to know, there's like a section on the left that has all of her experience, and then on the right at the top, I usually don't ever put it at the top. I usually stick it at the bottom because I'm like, if you got this far, honey, I got more for you. But she put at the top her skills and awards, which is nice because you know what? Your skills are more important than the fucking places you've worked at.
Yeah,
to be
the
honest.
skills I think is a little extra. Like that's really important to just put that out there. It's sort of similar in like having a bio in your resume, having your skills right at the top kind of like gives person an idea of like, what do you see yourself as? Like what kind of skills
I don't have a bio in my resume. Just either does
it's
this
okay.
person.
I didn't have a bio in mine for so long.
Yeah, but now you're a person with a bio in your resume. Like you've graduated to a new level of
It's next level for
resume.
Sure. So what is this, a 2-pager? What's going on here?
No. Here's
it's one
the other
page.
thing. It's a one page, but it's one of those because it's a Google Doc. It's got that.
Oh,
that
it's an
other
extra page down there. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
which also scared me because you see
It's
one
empty.
out of two.
Yeah, it's an empty page, but it's if she was sending this to someone, she'd export it and then delete that extra page. That happens to me all the time. Well, this looks like somebody.
This looks very professional to me.
Yeah, it does look very professional. It looks like they've been working for a really long time, which is impressive. And yeah, here's
the thing. I bet this person has had other jobs. And like I have this problem. So Sabrina, I think, highlighted her main jobs, right?
Yeah.
Like there aren't a billion jobs on here.
Yeah.
Because she's probably like, a successful person who's like young. No, but I'm just saying like there aren't a billion jobs. And I always thought it was quantity over quality. This resume is giving me quality over quantity.
Yeah,
she really
and I like
goes
that.
into the and you told me this about my resume. You said, Anna, you don't put enough like of what you do at that job, right? The meat of the job.
Yeah, I've heard that maybe like I think like 5 bullet points for each job is probably like a good area to be in for each of the jobs that you list on your resume. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 listed for the last role that she had, which I think maybe is a little bit too much, but it's also like tempting to do that for like your most recent job because you want to be like, I did so many things for this.
Right.
And it's like the most recent thing in your history. So it makes sense. But I feel like it all kind of like flows together. Like there's 2 sort of like jobs that are very similar, like customer service jobs, and then something different, like a lead instructor, which is like maybe you're evolving your career. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like she got a level above. Her next job looks like it was a bigger job than the last 2, which is a nice progress. Congrats, Sabrina.
They're going places.
But I was going to say that too. I was going to say, as a person who infrequently reads, I look at this and I do see a lot of copy. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of words.
Yeah, you want to like really stick it with like 5 top like things that you knocked out of the park with that job.
Yeah. Also, I was going to say, I think the spacing is very nice, but I was going to say there is a big space below her name. So I kind of think if you lifted that up a little bit, maybe, and took out like 1 or 2 of the one or 2 of the like lines underneath one of the jobs, it would be a little more appealing.
For sure. I think like that would definitely be an improvement. Maybe also using bullet points or like dashes or something to really emphasize the different like lines that you're giving underneath each role.
Yeah.
Because right now it's just like, it's no bullet points, just totally normal.
It's like it's like
chunks.
There's a space in between.
There's a space. Yeah,
there's a space in between the different tasks for each job, I guess you can say. I gotta say, you had a lot of tasks at your last job. So congrats to you for being like, this seems like a lot of work.
Like you did everything for this company, basically. You know what I'm also impressed with is like the jobs that she's been at for a really long time. Like there's one job on here that she had for basically like 15 years or something.
Holy shit, yeah.
Impressive.
15 years.
Impressive.
So honestly, that's why she doesn't have a billion. Mine are like 6 months, 1 month, 6 weeks, 2 weeks. There's some I really need to cut down on. I always look at your resumes and I'm like, wow, Anna, get your shit together. But I gotta say, Sabrina, she does have her shit together. You've clearly had these like long-term experiences. Yeah. So if someone's looking at this resume who's going to hire you, they're like, this girl's not here for a minute. You know, she really commits to a job.
Very
she
committed.
Stays in the job, which I commend. That's pretty freaking cool. Right?
Yeah. You go,
What's
girl.
the longest you've ever had a job, Ellen?
Jeez, I don't know. Maybe 3 years. That's like the max.
That's the job I had with you.
Yeah. No, I think that one. And also one time before at a previous job, I was also there for about 3 years.
Yeah.
I haven't gone longer than 3 years, which is a little... I got to break that record soon.
In the production world, 3 years, someone would see that and they'd be like, wow, that's a long time.
Yeah,
because usually
there's
jobs...
a lot of churn for those positions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like... You know, when Jared gets a contract for more than like a couple months, it's like, whoa, that's...
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like all contracted work. So it's not like you're not really set up for a really long-term thing.
I gotta say, I'm giving Sabrina the job. You know, I don't know what she's applying for in our world, but...
But she's blown it out of the water here. I think just a little bit, like maybe a little bit more touching up on the layout, and it's golden. Yeah.
It is golden. It's really good. And you know what? It says her last job ended April 2021. So I hope you have found a new job.
Yeah.
Let us know. Let us know if you appreciate the feedback. And if you don't let us know. No, I'm kidding.
I hope this feedback sort of like gives you confidence to maybe like make a few changes and, you know, go out there and apply to more jobs if you're looking still.
Yeah. And I honestly, guys, I got to say, I'm looking at the skills and awards before the experience. That's where my eye goes to on this page. So maybe Sabrina taught us all a lesson. Stick that good shit up at the top. You know, you don't need to I put mine at the very bottom in smaller font. And it's like, no, the people should know your skills because that's what they're hiring you for. Not because you know, interviewed potential hirees, you know, in your old job. They want to know that you've got the skills to do the job. Yeah. So thank you, Sabrina.
Thanks, Sabrina.
Ellen, this is fun. I like analyzing.
Yeah, I want to see more. It's really fun to see other people's resumes.
Send us your resumes to theunemployedteam@gmail.com, or you can send them to me on Twitter, Unemployed Podcast on Twitter, Unemployed on with Anna on Instagram. You know where to find us. Contact us. Send us your resumes. We will do this anonymously. You know, I can make up a funny name for you. She said that we could use her first name, so it's up to you. And I hope you enjoyed the episode. Go listen to the other episodes. Ellen, a pleasure as always.
Yes. See you next time.
I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and check out our Patreon if you want to see our beautiful faces of us reading a resume. It's really riveting, I gotta say. It's good.
Love it.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Right now, I just want to take a moment to thank everybody who has supported our Patreon. This is your shout out right here from me. Tons of love. And if you haven't checked out our Patreon, all of our videos go up there. Sometimes I just write fun things because I feel like it. And it's just a really nice way to support us at Unemployed and, you know, so we can keep this thing going. We do it for nothing. We do it for fun. We do it for you to listen to. So definitely check out the Patreon. And right now, huge shout out to our patrons, Bill Horton, Chi of Steele, Danielle McCartney, Lori Jackson, Jeannie Logan. We got Joe Galati, Chris Arneson, Jordan Lucero, Oscar Yuen, Ken Levin, and Vic Terry. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much it means to us, and I appreciate you, and I see you, and I love you.